will a post-COVID-19 world look? Everything from the economy, work, travel and education has already changed. On our Wednesday book review, we look at this issue, speaking to Abdullah Verachia, author of Disruption, Amplified, Reset, Rewire, Reimagine Everything. He joins us from Johannesburg. A very good morning to you. I have to admit, firstly, going in here, I've read about your book, but I haven't read it yet. I look forward to doing that, though. But tell us about the title and what it sets us up for.
Good morning, Jane, and good morning to listeners. It's a pleasure to be with you. I think really what happened on the 27th of March as the president put us in lockdown, as with many other countries, citizens went into a lockdown period as a result of a health crisis. I had 9 international trips out of 11 cancelled in a short space of 2 weeks. And so I then said to myself, I could either bake banana bread and figure out how to do some Pilates, or I could do some of that and also spend a bit of time writing. And so I spent quite a bit of time talking to leaders in the political space, in the economic space, in different sectors. I used some strategic foresight. And to your point, I then looked at how do we actually look at a COVID world not in the now? Because in my world of work, I help many companies build strategy. And I found that in the last 6 to 8 months, many companies were so enamored, so caught up by the shock, the awe, and the impact of COVID that they were focused on the now and not on the next. And so my book tries to take a view in terms of how do we look at the now, but also look at the next. And so I look at the macro picture, the changes in the political, economic, social, technological, environmental and context. And then I start to infuse that into 21 sectors that I've looked at and finally really look at personal change. So that's perhaps an overview of the book and how it's structured.
Okay, and what did you find?
Well, I think, a lot of people, Jane, are talking about the new normal. And I'm going to argue, firstly, that where we came from perhaps was never normal to start with. This fact that we've got billions of people who go onto the road every day from 7 to 9 a.m. in different countries around the world, gridlock traffic, that's not normal. Living in a society with massive income inequality, where we all live in the same city, but we've got such massive disparity, is never normal. And so the first thing, and perhaps it gives you a sense in terms of why I've called the book Reset, Rewire, is that this gives us a chance to be able to reimagine the type of society that we want to live in. Can we start creating more hybrid work structures where we're able to have some work from home and some work from office environments? Can we start to rethink how we perhaps have an overemphasis and an over-reliance on airline travel, and can we start to be able to digitize some of those contexts? Can we start to think about how we connect with individuals in terms of using e-commerce platforms? And so the book really starts to argue that the canvas in which we're painting on is very different, and that we've moved way beyond the health crisis, and that, in fact, we've moved now into a cognitive rewiring of what I call human behavior, and that human beings have gone through this mass experiment in terms of buying online, in terms of working from home, in terms of differently connecting and engaging with each other. And if that canvas is different, so too must the type of choices that we take to paint on that canvas. So in effect, so too must the way in which we engage and interact with each other going forward.
And I like the fact that you talk about creative steps needed, like the map of your life, the mirror, and the fact that memories can't be stronger than vision.
Yeah, so I think a lot of us are so enamored in terms of using the past to be able to inform our future. And for me, I think what's exciting about where we're going into is that this gives us a space to be able to reimagine the type of world that we find ourselves in. I say that no president, no prime minister, no CEO, no executive, no business school professor has the answers in terms of perhaps what the future might look like, which is perhaps exciting, scary and daunting at the same time, but exciting because it gives us a chance to be able to say, how do we get other views into the room? We live in a continent where the average age is 19.7. How do we get the voices of young people into the room? How do we start to look at the skills that can't be digitized? So we've got this overwhelming nature in terms of the role of technology and digital, and we've heard so much noise around 4IR. But my argument is that digital is important, but so too is the human touch. And what COVID in the last 9 months has taught us is the critical importance of the human element. Skills that we don't often give enough credence to. Skills like creativity, skills like empathy, stepping in the shoes of others, skills that are what I call human-only skills. And we're finding that anything that can't be digitized or automated is going to become so much more valuable. So some of these skills. So yes, on the one front, I speak in the book about the acceleration of technology But on the other side, I speak about the human-only skills that can't be digitized and automated. And for many of us, in all parts of the world, being closed off, not being able to interact and engage has given us the magic and the privilege of what human connection means. And so I think winners and individuals and organizations who are going to be successful are those who can get the nexus between the digital and the social sciences.
Abdullah, I love your thinking. It sounds very positive, and you're absolutely right. We must embrace the change that we've been flung into in order to have a successful future. Good to talk to you, and I'm going to get into your book tonight.